Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
You are an NBA champion, Nicola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. With Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Nikola Jokic sounding like Liam Neeson at the end of Taken. Job's done. I can go home now. I mean, that is who he is. And I find it very endearing because throughout the playoffs, they'll ask him a question about, hey, you just set a record for the most amount of points, rebounds, and assists in the game combined. And they'll say, well, how does that feel? It's like, I'm just really thrilled for my teammates, and they did so much for me. Like, he's very much a differential person. Now, in this case, it comes off as maybe not giving a damn, but it is very funny how Jokic carries himself to different stars. And, look, Giannis is endearing in a different way. He's very, I mean this in a complimentary way, childlike in his joy and his jubilance for the game and everything that's happening. Jokic, much more workmanlike. But Matt Hamilton, could it not fit more with a guy who sounds like he's like a Russian spy? I mean, I do work, I go home. Like it sounds like a guy from like a Russian spy movie. So it just fits Matt Hamilton. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio, and look, man, obviously, in the Mile High City, the
mountains are blue.
They're blue.
Yeah,
they are blue, and we call that color gold for Denver. Are they blue and gold right now?
Yeah, definitely gold.
Matt Hamilton colors there.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely dig that.
So they're having a great time out in Denver. And before we get to Jokic, I will say, Matt, I know you didn't. I mean, you were busy winning your golf tournament, but this team was really fun to watch, and you had Jamal Murray coming back from a knee injury. I think they said 2 years ago at this time he couldn't walk, and to be able to work his way back. Jokic, a guy who was drafted in the second round of the NBA draft while a Taco Bell commercial was on, and he was upset with his brothers who woke him up to tell him that he was drafted.
Everything that he had just recently said after winning tracks when you tell me that he was upset that his brothers woke him up that he got drafted.
And then the photos of him, like, as a kid, of, like, just this pudgy little, like, guy that now is the face of the NBA. He is, this season, just like we did with Giannis, he is the best player in the NBA. And clearly he works at it. But it does seem, Matt, that it's, like, work for Jokic to be as great as he is.
Does it ever? I don't know how to feel about it. I'm stoked for Denver. I'm stoked for the fans. The problem for me is when you're a fan of a team and you're hoping that the players maybe don't necessarily match your excitement, even though this is the pinnacle of their sport and it's the highest thing that they can achieve as like a basketball player. This is number one, what you play for.
Yeah.
You would kind of hope to have a little bit more excitement and thrill. And even if you are kind of thinking like, well, sure would be nice to go home sooner rather than later, for me at least, I would appreciate that if I was a fan of the Nuggets, that if he would have just kind of bottled that I want to go home up. And you can go through the motions and give coach speak and answers and be like, yeah, it's really great. It was a team win. We feel really awesome. Can't wait to celebrate with Denver. Like, I would appreciate that more than like, oh, I can't wait to go. Oh, there's a parade? I have to go to the parade on Thursday? I got to go home.
Well, let's hear the audio when Jokic found out that he has to do the parade. But the one aspect of it, and he's from Serbia, so he's a foreign-born player, and so some of it might be lost in translation. I don't know how much his wife and kid are at these or in the United States, so he ties his wedding ring onto his shoe before every game, and he does a little gesture to his daughter before every game. So he is he really feels like a guy that wants to cherish every second he can have with his young daughter and his wife. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying others don't, and then also he is on brand very monotone and subdued after every postgame. Again, it's different winning a title, but this is not him as like a sour, like a Eeyore right now. This is just who he is all the time.
Okay, play the audio.
Well, let's play the audio.
Yeah, safe to say he did not change much, even after winning a championship.
Right.
I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Like I said before, it's not everything on the wall, you know. I think still, if okay, I won it. Okay, not I, we won it. But I think it's not the most important thing in the world still.
So there's a couple things there, Matt, and then we'll get your reaction. One, at the end of that first cut, they say you can go home Friday. He goes, okay. So he does seem like a guy that he says like he's very much a willing like teammate and member of the Denver organization when he says you can go home Friday. Okay. And so he does like, and
Do
he
you
even
think
says,
he's just like a guy who just says what he thinks, or like this is calculated, or that was just like gut reaction? I was just kind of like speaking in the moment.
I think that one was gut reaction because if you saw the video, it's very much of like, hey, and he found out later he's got a horse race going on. He apparently loves his horses. And, Matt, I guess I pick up the vibe from Jokic, and maybe it's because he's Serbian and it's just a Eastern European vibe to him, but it's basically I get this vibe that he's like, I need to be great at this because this is my skill, and I will bust my ass to be the best basketball player around, and I want to win for my teammates because it's so important for them. But this is my job, and my passion is my family and my horses. And I think he just doesn't, especially in a second language, doesn't know how to sugarcoat it.
Well, I mean, it may be a second language, but he has a pretty good grasp of sarcasm and humor. We have another clip that this is referencing, right? You have the one where he's talking about.
We have him talking about his approach when it comes to his everyday job.
I mean, probably that's a normal thing, you know. Nobody likes his job, or maybe they do. They're lying.
And you're telling me he doesn't have a grasp on English, and he's going to drop a little sarcasm in like that? He gets it. He gets it. He just, I think he legitimately just doesn't love basketball. He's a big, tall guy. He's got the skills. He knows he has the skills, but it's not his favorite thing ever. That's where I think there's a difference. It's like one of Giannis's favorite things to do is play basketball. It's probably hang out with his wife and kid, and then 2 is probably play basketball. I don't think it's even in Jokic's top 5 things to do. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you can still buckle down and do your job at a high level, and it doesn't matter if you're finding a ton of joy in it. But I find when someone, especially when you're also like, I can think of like teammates or even like the opponents, when you're also trying to achieve that goal and that person isn't like enjoying it as much as you would, they aren't like drinking in the moment as much as you know you would, that is upsetting.
Well, so Jamal Murray, who's known it for a while, like he grabbed Jokic, threw him in the pool. So I think they have
this
a
pool at the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a
training.
Yeah, training
like
pool,
recovery pool.
Yeah,
okay.
And so I think Jokic has the vibe of like everyone just knows that he's a fuddy-duddy. He's only 28 years old. He's much younger than you, Matt Hamilton. And he is a guy I think gives off old man vibes. And I think, and you've been a part of many different teams, I think that's his role on the team. The guys just know that he's just going to be very subdued. I mean, the video of him, haphazardly shaking the bottle of champagne like, yay, what do we got to do next? I want to go home.
Right.
Or I want to see my kids. As Tim in Oregon chimed in, my 2 boys, 21 and 24, love the Nuggets. Jokic and his daughter were cute overload, and they were. She was banging on his trophies. I mean, here's... and then he also says that the Nuggets are much like the Bucks as far as small market teams that won the title.
Totally. Like, look at Toronto, the Bucks, the Nuggets. What's that, 3 out of the last 5 years?
Yeah.
You have pretty small market teams?
All with different types of superstars. You got Giannis, the jovial one. Kawhi Leonard, who seems like a robot.
A mute.
Yeah. Doesn't even know how to, laugh. Like, if you find the old clip of Kawhi Leonard
And then you
laughing.
got the first understudy in the movie Grumpy Old Men in Jokic.
But I guess I find it endearing in the fact that none of it feels... Really, for Giannis and Jokic, it doesn't feel forced. It's just who they are. And it also feels genuine. Like when he came up and they gave him the trophy, he was holding his daughter. And they gave him a trophy for MVP of the NBA Finals. He left the trophy on the table and went back with his daughter and his wife to the back of the crowd. He wasn't one of the, wasn't trying to be the forefront. So I guess that's what I enjoy about it. Whether it's Giannis or Jokic, I think this is why he resonates with his teammates, is it's genuine. Like it's not an act. And so
plus, I mean, you got a guy who is not going to want to steal any of the spotlight from any of the other teams. You know that this guy, if he does has the spotlight, it's literally just because of the way he's playing, not because of anything he's doing off the court or extracurriculars on the court. The guy is just a basketball professional.
844-770-3776. Do you appreciate or do you want your favorite athletes to be as excited as you are when they win a title? 844-770-3776.
I was going to say, like, would your superstar on your basketball team, do you rather have a superstar that's like Giannis-esque or Joker?
Well, I don't ask that because Giannis is going to crush the poll. So that's why I say, like, do they want them to be as excited as you are?
Which, I guess that's fair because I feel like Giannis is or really close.
How do you think Aaron Rodgers would react if he wins a Super Bowl this year? You think it's closer to Joker?
I think this year, now that last year with the Packers, Joker. This year with the Jets, Giannis.
You think so?
4 years ago with the Packers, Giannis. I just think he was soured so much.
So let's change the poll.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Let's change the poll.
Okay.
If Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl with the Jets, do you think his reaction will be more like Jokic or more like Giannis?
Okay.
And so maybe if you have room in parentheses, put muted and exuberant or whatever you want to put in there.
Okay.
844-770-3776.
It's going to be a landslide.
If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this year with the Jets and they just added Adrian Amos, will he be more like Jokic or more like Giannis at the winning table? Like when he gets the trophy and gets all that. 844-770-3776. Matt, what do you got?
It's Giannis. He's acting like Giannis. He is going to be beyond excited. He's going to fake it until he makes it, even if it isn't super genuine, like both of these guys really, truly are. He is going to put out that appearance that he has never been happier because in the back of his head, because he's King Petty, and again, that's what makes him great, but because he is King Petty, in the back of his head, he is going to be thinking that this is going to grind Mark Murphy and Goody's gears, how happy and a part of a team I am and accommodating to my teammates. He is going to be just as excited as everyone else in that locker room. Don't you think? Like, just out of spite. I don't think it'll be as genuine, per se.
He's always had a too cool for school vibe. And correct me if I'm wrong, Favre was far more exuberant than Rodgers was when they won the title. I'm not saying Rodgers was Jokic here. And this is not, I'm not saying it's a character flaw against Rodgers. Honestly, what I'd like if Rodgers won the Super Bowl is to get the real Rodgers. And I think the real Rodgers is more of a too cool for school, too cool to care type personality.
No, you
California
don't think
cool.
That's him. You think that's the persona he likes to put off. You know he's something different.
Well, right now, he's angrier the last few years in Green Bay.
But look at him right now. He's going to his teammate C.J. Uzma's play that he's a producer in.
He was at the Tony Awards.
With C.J. Uzma because his play was nominated for a Tony, right?
Yes.
Rodgers is out there with his teammates living his best life right now because he's in a place where he's wanted. He is going to be in that jet. He's going to be in that Giannis mindset if they are able to get this done because one, Rodgers is in it for him and his legacy. He is going to be able to go down as one of the best ever because he's falling into that 2 Super Bowl win category if he can get it done.
844-770-3776. If Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl with the Jets, do you think his reaction would be more like Jokic or more like Giannis? Jokic obviously more subdued. Giannis very exuberant, joyful innocence there. And I find them both great. And I think, Matt, that's what I like the most. That's what I want the most out of the athletes that I cheer for. Now, I'm not Pollyanna enough to believe that everything we see is real. But for an example here, Russell Wilson feels like he's giving me a persona. J.J. Watt is guy feels like he's giving me a persona. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay the last few years seemed like he was going out of his way to be miserable. And so a persona. Giannis feels genuine. Jokic feels genuine. Steph feels genuine. LeBron, forced. Feels like an image. And so, look, if you're going to make a criticism of Jordan, same thing. But you got a glimpse of it when he won the first title when he came back after his father died.
Right.
And he's on the ground holding that trophy, and he's crying and holding on to it. And you could see every time he won that, like, the true part of Jordan was he was so maniacal about winning that winning was the greatest thing every time that ever happened in his life.
Right.
And so you could feel that. So that was genuine. So I like genuine out of an athlete more than...
For sure.
Even if they are genuinely a dink, I'll take it.
And that, it's slowly, Joker is falling closer to that dink for me because I don't love that he's not, like, just beyond excited for winning the NBA championship, being the MVP of the finals. Like, come on. That's like every future basketball star's dream.
The Adam and Madison chimes in. I got to say the Jokic family is absolutely great. Nikola accomplished something few get to do, and he's nonchalant at best. While his brothers, this part, Matt, was great. His brothers were lifting the coach up. They literally picked up Mark Malone and were tossing him in the air like a child, celebrating on the court with the team. I mean, his whole family was out there. The team knew who his brothers were, and then his wife comes out and the daughters. And it really feels like, I think Nikola is so genuinely humble that, because you see his brothers, very outgoing folks, and a lot of times just family dynamics.
Yeah.
You have two outgoing, brothers, and his dad seems outgoing, and he's just the baby of the family, more subdued, and I think he's just genuinely, and I get it, but Matt, you are genuinely someone that is going to appreciate and soak in every second.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, that's what I love about you.
Well, I know, but if I
fake.
watch someone else win and they were not as excited as I was, that would hurt.
Kevin and Madison chimes in. I completely agree with Matt. Rodgers is tactical and will play it up. He knows New York media will shred him if he doesn't play it up. LeBron is forced, but he loves his kids. Bronny is a great son. It's beautiful. Absolutely. I'm not talking about these as human beings. I'm talking about their personas. He's going to get
a player who probably doesn't deserve to be an NBA basketball star into like a lottery pick.
Bronny's a first-round pick.
All the basketball people I talk to don't think he's a draft pick.
Oh, he's a draft pick.
Really?
Yeah, he's just not a lottery
pick. He's a draft pick because it might bring his dad to town, and then your team's going to be worth a lot more because LeBron's in town. Not actually because LeBron...
I don't think that's going to happen. I think Bronny's going to have to be at USC for a year or two, and he'll play his way into being a draft pick, but by that point, I think LeBron will be done.
You think so? His one goal in basketball career now is to play an NBA
You want to talk about
season with his son.
You want to talk about a guy who was a bummer. I mean, LeBron afterwards, like, maybe I'll play for the Lakers, maybe I'll retire. I got to figure it all out. I mean, but that was LeBron just deflecting from getting swept out of the playoffs.
Fair. And again, if I was LeBron, I wouldn't be too upset because at least the team that beat me went on to win it all.
We'll go to break on this. Well, one, Matt, you look good yesterday. You're looking good every day because you rock that Iron Jock gear.
That's absolutely right. That's because it's made with that state-of-the-art silver ion technology that's guaranteed to keep me feeling fresh and smelling fresh for as long as I own it. It's a Wisconsin-based company, which is why Rutledge and Hamilton is big supporters of Iron Jock. It's designed from the inside out. It provides a combination of superior moisture management, better cooling, static control, stain blocking, and storm-proof weather resistance. They provide the highest quality fabrics in construction, designed for an active and comfortable fit. Visit ironjock.com to get your Iron Jock apparel today, and you can use code ESPN25 for 25% off your order. If you want to look as good as me and Jim do and feel good and smell good doing it, go to ironjock.com right now and get your Iron Jock gear today and use code ESPN25.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado and its TurboMax engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
A year from now, the U.S. Open will return to Pinehurst Resort and Donald Ross's masterpiece, Pinehurst No. 2. Named by the USGA as the U.S. Open's first anchor site, Pinehurst is home to 9 championship golf courses, the Cradle Short Course, and 4 historic hotels. Before the game's best players are faced with the famed turtleback greens that Ross nestled into the sandhills of North Carolina, you can test your game against one of the world's best courses. At Pinehurst, it is someone's U.S. Open every day. Visit Pinehurst.com now to plan your stay.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. June is jam-packed with non-stop racing action. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under. Celebrate Father's Day at the NTT IndyCar Series Soncio Grand Prix, presented by AMR Weekend, June 15th through the 18th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
Join us at the Madison Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns, June 16th to 25th. Visit and get inspired. Go to MadisonParadeOfHomes.com and purchase your tickets today.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
But the string's already broken and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast.
How soon do you get back inside? On the Sundays I have my horse racing.
Horse racing?
I don't know how we're going to arrive. Thursday, parade, Friday maybe.
Would you make it?
I don't know.
Maybe you can have enough time to squeeze it in?
I'm going to ask Josh to...
Cheers to our friend Nikola Jokic, who not only won an NBA title, has got his horses racing on Sunday, and is using the inconvenience of his celebratory parade. I feel like he played extra hard just to close that game out so he could get home in time for his horses to race. He's going to lean on the owner of the team to get him a private
jet,
which they should, and I'm sure they happily will. The man's won 2 MVPs and 1 Finals MVP. And this is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. We're going to cheers to Jokic in a second here. But I think there's
Does
a
that mean
case.
I can grab a beer now?
Yeah, we got a whole fridge full of Lineys.
All right.
So with Jokic, though, I think there's a second of it of because he's so nonchalant. Do you think that helps him in those moments? Because he was very clutch last night. I mean, when that game got tight, he was the one that closed it out. I mean, whether it was the key pass, great screen,
I think
big
I remember
shots.
he went out of the game with like kind of an injury. He was taking a break or maybe a breather in the fourth quarter and then came back. Miami started to make a little bit of a run, and when he came back in, he just like controlled the rest of the game. Miami was done from then on out.
Yeah, he was, and he's also the first player in NBA history to be first in the NBA Finals in points, rebounds, and assists.
I think it definitely helps being a guy who doesn't get too excited because it's very easy to maintain that same rhythm that got you there. Like, I personally kind of like to feed off a little bit of that energy, but there's times when it can be too much and it's overwhelming. If you can, like, in all sports, if you can be consistent, you're going to be better and you're going to be good. And Jokic, I think, is able to be very consistently I don't know what the word is for it. Not like less than enthusiastic about most situations. And I think that helps him when there's very hectic and pressure-filled situations going on around him. I think it's easy for him to like just slow everything down in his head and take it like one step at a time.
Absolutely. And so, Matt, I'm sure Jokic, if he hasn't, I'm sure would love to try some Lineys. What would you recommend?
Well, if he did get the Lineys in the locker room, he'd have to shake it up and spray it around a little more enthusiastically than he did with the champagne that he was doing that with. But that being said, I don't think Jokic would waste any of the Lineys because that delicious lemon honey light from Line of Kugels is only like less than 100 calories. Jokic probably is counting a little bit of calories because he's not focusing on working too hard. He just wants to do his job and go home.
Gotta be light enough to ride those horses.
So a nice light lemon honey light is probably right up his alley. They've got a beer flavor for any situation, from winning the NBA Finals to cozying up by a fire around the lakes of the Northwoods to just cruising around here in the Madison Lakes in a hot summer day. Lineys has a flavor for you. Go check them out wherever you get delicious beer. And remember, you got to be 21 years or older to enjoy.
844-770-3776, our Iron Jock poll question. If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this season with the Jets, do you think he'll be more like Jokic, muted and understated, or like Giannis, jovial and exuberant? 75% of you right now say like Giannis. And we have Daniel Sloth chiming in. Bryce is getting more hype than Bronny. He's 6'7" and only a junior. Supposedly could shoot a lot better as well. And then Bronny is definitely watchable with USC. The vibe I get from both these guys would honestly be very similar to Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo Ball is a better NBA basketball player and a higher pick, but both were good. And Lonzo has the knee issues, which obviously...
Lonzo's done because he wore the worst possible tennis shoes in the history of basketball.
But was worthy of the lottery pick, was worthy of the hype. His little brother's better. So there's a case...
Well, for sure, but
I'm looking at Bronny right now. I mean, everything I read here is he's mocked as a mid-first round to low lottery pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, obviously, we have to see him play.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know that much. This is just hearsay from some of my friends that are way more Mr. NBA
But
than
I
me.
think part of the part of it is, one, there is the hate factor for LeBron, but two, it's happened similar to Lonzo with LaMelo, that just because his younger brother is better doesn't mean the older brother isn't also good.
Right.
And I think that sometimes happens with it as well. Matt, I wanted to get to this little part here. We're going to have Jason Wilde coming up next, but is there anything worse than the owners when they bring the owner on?
No.
I mean,
there's not.
I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but Stan Kroenke, who, look, good for him. He's been cleaning up as far as championships. He owns the Rams. I think another team in Denver won. He owns the Nuggets, and he's won like 5 titles.
Avalanche, yep. And he owns the Rams and Arsenal, who just won a championship.
But I think it was
in
like
the
a lacrosse team that won, too.
Oh, yeah, he owns the Colorado lacrosse team.
Yeah, so, I mean, the guy's cleaning up in titles. But one awkwardly kept on trying to like whisper into Lisa Salter's ears instead of for the answer. There's a mic right there, so you could hear him. But you know, like you're at a club and you're like leaning in, you're trying to talk to someone, and like you're like closer to the ear. He was doing that. It's like, crazy old rich guy. There's a microphone in front of you. How do you have $16 billion and don't know how microphones roads work. But every time they
pay
bring
someone to know how it works, so you don't have to.
But every time they bring the owner out, I'm like, why? What are we doing with this dog and pony show? Nobody in this building gives two craps about the rich guy.
There's a few owners that I think are fun to bring out. Like, yeah, no one cares about Jerry Jones, but he's outrageous. I don't care. I would listen to what Jerry Jones had to say if they won a championship, because Jerry Jones is a walking, talking cartoon character.
I don't know.
And then there's who is the guy that used to own the Raiders?
Oh, Al Davis.
Al Davis. You're telling me if the Raiders won, you wouldn't want to listen to Al Davis?
So you're talking about
talking about win, baby, win.
He's dead.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying there were
But the two you're referencing is like one guy who is in a crypt and the other one who's half in the crypt. We could ask Jason Wilde about
Jaguars owner.
Shad Khan.
Yes, I would listen to that.
Cuban is a guy I would hear
Mike
talk.
Cuban.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse is the official barbecue and seafood and smokehouse of Rutledge and Hamilton. Make sure to listen every Wednesday for your chance to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. Looking for a team to play for in the spring and summer of 2024? Rays tryouts begin in July and August, and sign-ups are open now. Since 2010, the Rays have developed over 370 college players, including over 140 players committed to Division I baseball and 17 MLB draft picks. Rays Baseball. Raise your game.
For over 50 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County has matched local youth with adult mentors in lasting and impactful one-on-one relationships. If you or a friend are interested in everything that Big Mentorship means, then attend the Big Social at Kiva Sports Center on Thursday, June 22nd from 5 to 7 p.m. Enjoy a casual atmosphere of games and fun while mingling with current and future Bigs passionate about making a lasting impact on the lives of local kids. Visit their Facebook page or go to bbbsmadison.org to learn more and sign up today.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. For close to 155 years, Leinie's has stayed true to the Jacob Leinekugel's vision for combining German brewing traditions of his homeland with innovative spirit of his new home here in Wisconsin. Today, you'll find that spirit alive and well inside their wide range of German-inspired beers, from shandies to IPAs, Weiss to Bocks. They've got the beer for any flavor and any moment. You'll find me out on the water this summer drinking some nice summer shandies from Leinekugel's beer. You must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
I'm not in a mood for drama tonight, Jason.
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Is on Rutledge and Hamilton.
I don't know if I will go as far as you will.
With Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
All right, boys.
Take care. Be good.
Presented by Coors Light.
We have Jason Wilde on the phone, including Matt Hamilton here as well. And Jason, we'll get to some Packers stuff, but have you had a chance to see Jokic and his response to a lot of questions, very underselling the title and very subdued? And I, for one, love it. He just gives the vibe off of a guy who's just got a lot of stuff to do at home, and he's only got like 2 months to get it done, and he just wants to spend time with his wife and kids. So he's just like, look, man, I won. I'm going to go home. And it just seems so authentic. It's like the opposite of Giannis, but at the same time, they're both lovable because they're both very authentic. Have you a chance to see any of the Jokic stuff? What are your thoughts on it?
I did, yeah. I don't know why people are so bothered by that. I think our teammate Josh DiMaggio was voicing his irritation and just displeasure, calling Joker joyless, and I thought that was a little strong. So, look, we're all wired differently. I just want you to be you, whatever that is. If you're a wild and crazy guy like Matt Hamilton, or if you're, what do they call you in the promo? Judgmental Jim Rutledge?
Yes, yep. Judgmental Jim. I didn't hear what you said there.
Yeah, do we lose him?
Judgmental Jim, they call you in a promo.
Yes.
Yeah. Judgmental Jim Rutledge.
Yes, it rolls off the tongue. I just got a lot of opinions, so
which will not be swayed.
That makes up for me because I don't have that many, so that's perfect.
But my opinion here is the same as yours. My opinion is, as long as you're authentic, I love it. And Matt, we got to talking about Aaron Rodgers and how he would react if he won a title. And Jason, I'll ask you this: do you think Aaron, if he won a title with the Jets, would be more like Jokic or Giannis? Because I think throughout his career, he's been a little bit of both. And I don't know where his head's at anymore with the Jets. But if he won a title with the Jets, do you think Aaron would be more subdued or just really jovial like Giannis?
I think he'd be incredibly jovial. I think he was. It's interesting that you say he's been both, though, because when you think back, and I'm sure you guys remember hearing him discuss this on our wildly popular precursor to the Pat McAfee show, in which he basically said, in the moment, you're up on the dais and Clay Matthews is putting the championship belt over your shoulder and all the other stuff. And then he got on the bus and sat by himself on the bus back to the hotel, and he thought, is this it? Is that all there is? And it kind of fueled him to say, I need to win another one of these because this doesn't feel like enough. And obviously he hasn't yet. I would think with all the stuff here and his feelings towards certain people in this building, I would guess that he would revel in a championship with the Jets as much, if not more so, than he did in that Super Bowl 45 title.
Jason, I agree with you. Hey. First of all, Jason, how are you doing? It's been a while.
It has been too long. I'm very proud of you for your incredible golf performance. Kudos to you.
Appreciate it.
I had such a disappointment this morning. I thought you were going to get some national pub for not only being a terrific celebrity golfer, but just an all-around mensch and lovable character. Because I saw Kay Adams, who used to be on Good Morning Football, tweeting that she was going to have Matt Hamilton on. Some guy who works for, FanDuel, and I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but I was like, ooh, I want to hear this because I know how entertaining the old Hambone can be.
Yeah.
And it was during our show, so I would have had to leave the show, which I'm sure Jesse would have loved the extra airtime. But it turned out some other guy with your name.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I know.
And it's such a unique
There
name.
can only be one. Yeah. So I'm sorry to let you down there, Jason. I'll call in next time.
Did I ever tell you about the guy who had the same name as me who lived in Madison when I was just out of college?
No. Please, tell us.
This is amazing. So I actually, this is well before Paula, who, by the way, Paula, happy 14th anniversary today.
Hey!
Happy anniversary.
Congrats.
She doesn't listen to your show, so I don't know what's throwing it out there. But anyway.
I take back the congrats.
Oh, it's congrats to you, Jason. We're not congratulating her for not.
Congratulations, Paula, on what was clearly a mistake.
Dug her heels
so in. It was like 2001, 2000 maybe. I mean, it was a long time ago when you still used your home phone. And I was on a date that had gone pretty well, and we were back at my apartment, and the phone rings, and it is a woman who is calling to berate me for
ooh la la.
how shall we say? Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Perfect for doing that and never calling. Well, what? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I gotta be honest with you. I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, given my recent track record, this can't be me. And so I start asking some more questions, and she's hammered, and she's getting her frustrations off her chest. And one of her friends comes on the phone, and I'm like, look, I'm fine if your friend wants to yell at me, but I don't think she's got the right guy. I'm like, how did you get this number? And she said, well, I looked it up. She looked it up in the phone book, which, remember, we used to have phone books?
Yeah.
So I was in the white book. But so she called me out of the phone book, but it was apparently another, I believe he pronounces it Wild. So he's like my evil twin. And I knew that this guy existed, but he had hooked up with her at like a party in Stoughton. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I've never been to any parties in Stoughton. I said, I've covered some high school football games there, but I have not been to any parties. And she didn't really care. And my date for the evening was like, what have I gotten myself into with this jackass?
Right.
But as I learned later, this guy had not paid his MG&E bill.
Oh, boy.
He had some other creditors after him, and they all got sent to me, and I had to prove that I wasn't this guy.
Oh, jeez.
And I still, my only question that I really found myself asking was, I wish I could meet this woman who called me, because I'm curious what kind of gal I'm interested in that I didn't know I was interested in.
How often you get accused by Jesse and Tausch of bringing your best content to other shows. I want to thank you for continuing that trend. That was a great story.
It was, yes.
So I want to get back a little bit on track here. How do you feel about the New York Packers acquiring Adrian Amos? Or at least that's the way it kind of seems right now.
It does, and I'm still wondering when Mercedes Lewis is going to join them, because Aaron Rodgers had said very clearly that he wants to make sure that the rest of his career he's playing with. He wants to finish his career with Mercedes Lewis, so we'll see if he ends up there too. Look, I don't think Adrian Amos is Ronnie Lott by any means, but what he is a guy that is incredibly reliable, never misses a start, doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of mistakes, doesn't miss tackles. Now, does he make a ton of plays? No, I think he had, 4 interceptions over the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, and Jim, you watched him with the Bears, I think you need those types of players on your team. They're not superstars. It's not about always having the best player at every position, even though they've got a lot of first-round picks on defense. Sometimes you need the guys that you just know aren't going to screw up. And I would argue that Adrian Amos, during his 4 years in Green Bay, was that. And instead, a guy that paid, first of all, when you see it reported as a contract up to or worth up to $4 million, you know that that's the agent wanting it to look better than it actually is, because it ain't worth $4 million. He's a guy that would not have cost much to bring back for a 1-year deal and solidified that position, because right now they've got a guy that they benched last year in Darnell Savage and a bunch of guys that have never been long-term NFL starters, right? They've got Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens. They've got Dallin Levitt. They've got Tavarius Moore. They've got Rudy Ford, who is the one who replaced Darnell Savage in the starting lineup last year and is now running alongside of him. So for a defense that is that thinks of itself as pretty good, I would think you'd want a reliable veteran guy. But again, I can't say that Adrian Amos is a field-tilting player, but on that side of the ball, I would think he still would have had value, but they didn't see it that way. They want to go as young as possible in as many places as possible, and have the opportunity for guys to go through their growing. In my opinion, have these guys have an opportunity to go through their growing pains this year. So by 2024, they'll have gotten them all out of their system, and they've got a potential to be a really good football team.
they want to do all that, but also not call it a rebuilding season. Let's not forget that.
No doubt.
Still not a rebuild season.
Yeah, no, it's not. And look, as David Bakhtiari said last week or 2 weeks ago, you know, the ball bounces their way a few times. They win some close games they shouldn't. They could be 9-8 and make the playoffs as the 7th seed, just like Seattle did last year when the Packers lost at home on the last game of the season to Detroit. That's what got Seattle in the playoffs, right? They had traded their same-ish quarterback. So I'm not saying it's impossible. What I would say is this, though, and I was saying this to Homer and Tony on ESPN Milwaukee a little while ago. The one guy, and again, it's not because I like him as a person or anything like that. The one older guy that I still don't think would be that expensive that I would have thought would have had value would have been Mason Crosby. Because we watched Anders Carlson today, and he made 5 of the 6 kicks he took inside the Hudson Center, and maybe he's good right away, like Mason Crosby was good right away. But I would think if your young quarterback starting for the first time leads you into field goal range to kick game-winning field goals, it would be good to have a guy who's done it a lot of times in his career. Because it's not the same to be able to say after a game you lose 23-21, well, Jordan did a great job of getting us in position to kick the field goal to win it, but Anders missed it, or whatever it might be. And maybe Anders Carlson will be up to the task, and this will all be moot. But that's the kind of guy that if you think winning is important, you got a guy who probably just wants to play one more year and would have liked to finish his career here. That is clearly highly unlikely at this point.
Jason, great stuff as always, and yeah, you're dead on in your scouting report of Amos, which is a good football player. He's non-spectacular, but he's always where he needs to be. Jason, you are spectacular, and you're always where you need to be, and you have to be somewhere, I think, now. So we appreciate you taking time to join us.
All right, fellas, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. You miss any of that?
You are a radio professional.
You like that?
Yeah, I really did like the end of that little closing there.
Yeah. And
well done. And if you want to hear that.
Yeah. You can listen to Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places, and that's brought to you by our good friends at Revive Restoration. Go to RevivePros.com. If you have smoke or water damage or need mold remediation or asbestos, they can help with that removal as well. RevivePros.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Vote at channel3000.com. People really like this show. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Clean Lakes Alliance's 11th annual Loop the Lake Bike Ride. Join the fun this June 17th and register today at cleanlakesalliance.org. A reigning freshman phenom for the Wisconsin basketball team will represent his country later this week in California. Connor Sejan, who averaged over 11 points per game in his freshman campaign for the Badgers, will represent the Armenian national team during the Armenian Basketball Classic against France on June 16th at Cal State Northridge in California. Sejan will make his debut for Armenia against the 5th-ranked globally France team in back-to-back nights at the Armenian Basketball Classic in California.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
The original hard iced tea started in 2001 in Cincinnati, Ohio. For Twisted Tea, the dream was simple. Brew a refreshing tea with flavors everyone loves and add a twist. With endless styles such as half and half, blueberry, peach, mango, and raspberry, you can always keep it twisted. Find Twisted Tea near you at twistedtea.com/locations. America parties with tea. Must be 21 or older to enjoy.
Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win a case of Twisted Tea's limited edition party pack. The summer party pack features the original half and half and peach flavors along with a new limited edition flavor, Twisted Tea Rocket Pop. The new style combines the flavors of the classic Rocket Pop popsicle, lemon lime cherry, and blue raspberry, punched up with a taste of authentic hard iced tea. Listen every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win some free beer, or in this case, some free Twisted iced tea. That's 2:45 every Thursday.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
Jason Wilde answered our Iron Jock poll question. If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this season with the Jets, do you think he'll be more like Jokic, muted and understated, or like Giannis, jovial and exuberant? Wilde voted for Giannis, and 67% of our audience has voted for that Giannis-like response from Aaron Rodgers. Paddock Plays chimes in, neither. He'll be smug, which is definitely a gear for that.
It's possible. I just don't think he will. I think our last person to text in, can't remember who you said it was. The Sloth, maybe?
Daniel the Sloth?
Yeah, it said that Rodgers was not going to do anything like that because the New York media would bury him.
Someone said that, but yes.
Right. I think
Kyle
right.
Madison.
I think Rodgers is too smart to like try and be like, I told you so, or be too smug about it. Everyone's going to already understand the I told you so part if Rodgers is able to get it done.
But can he help himself?
I don't know.
Because he's always...
That I don't know.
See, there's a difference there. And that's why I said Rodgers has always like had this gear. But there was a gear of like California cool that borderlined on smug. And then I would say because of...
Didn't you always think that was an act? Like his California cool thing? Like he wants to be California cool, Joe Cool, nothing bothers me, blah, blah, blah. But it obviously doesn't.
Look, I've maintained this forever,
yeah.
And I do not mean it as a slight because he is 1,000 times better at football. But him and Jay Cutler, personality-wise, are like the same darn person. And they are kind of smug. They are kind of subdued. Aaron just did a better job of hiding it for a while. But there's people on the team that absolutely, more people than not, who played with the Bears love Jay Cutler, the person. Just was not a good football player. Aaron Rodgers is 10 times the player. But as a person, they're very similar. And Rodgers and Cutler both can be smug. They're incredibly smart. They know they're smart. And sometimes they're too smart for their own good, but they also have a very cutting and dry wit. And I think at times, even when they try to be clever or fun or jovial, it still comes across as smug because they don't necessarily know how to be as like joyous as Matt Hamilton or Giannis. So in their efforts to even be funny, they still make a sarcastic or an undercutting remark, even when they are happy. Which, again, if Rodgers gets back to what Rodgers was, where it kind of felt a little more natural in his, like, hey, I am not too cool for school, but this kind of like, I'm going to make some snide, smart comments, be the smartest guy in the room. But it just felt more like Aaron. It was just a little bit lighter. Like, it's just the darkest Aaron the last few years, and I think he's lightened up a little bit. He still said some smug things at the Jets,
well, he
but
got it out in his retreat.
It's a little bit lighter.
Darkness got out in the retreat.
He's absolutely.
a complicated fella.
And, that retreat, we should make a retreat over to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. I think our friend Lee's going to make it in next Wednesday.
All right.
And we will have him come in, and he will basically hopefully bring us some food, and you'll make him a little something, and we'll see if he likes your food enough to order at a restaurant, or in theory, put it as a flavor of the day, a special over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Make sure to go there for their happy hour, sizzle, swizzle, and swirl. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Matt, I have a question here. We're going to throw this out to our audience. And the first question I have is, so Jesse Nelson has been asking around about how many shows have you done over the last year? And I want to get to the over-under on that, 844-770-3776.
By percentage?
But
right?
I don't know why Jesse's asking this question.
No,
So
I thought you did.
No, I don't know why he's asking this question. So I want to throw it out to our audience, 844-770-3776. Wrong answers only. Why
or right answers.
Or maybe let it be the right answer. Why is Jesse Nelson all of a sudden curious about how often Matt Hamilton works? 844-770-3776. And should Matt be nervous?
No. I'm fine, right? Right?
Is Stroth coming for your job or something? I don't know. Can you trust Alex Stroth? I don't know.
No.
They keep putting me back here for a reason. I don't know where Strofe is today, to be honest.
Yeah, see, Stroph's gone as often as I am.
There you go.
This is proof.
The only guy safe on this show is the least popular guy on the show, the Bear fan, Jim Rutledge. Maybe they're figuring it out to see if they can do the show without me. Maybe I need to be worried. People like me. People like me. They do. Matt Hamilton, you are trying to figure out, do you have a guess why?
No. Maybe budgeting for, because isn't it like the 1st of July, like the fiscal start of the year or something? In a lot of businesses, so like you would do something like.
Well, I'll give you this part of it, not this business. So you're good on that part of it. So, but I also don't know, like, how much we react on. Here we go. The Adam Madison chimes in. Jesse has a big man crush on Matt, and very clearly is just down in the dumps whenever Hammy's out of the building.
That seems to make the most sense.
844-770-3776. Wrong answers only. Why is Jesse Nelson sniffing around about how much Matt Hamilton is working over the course of a year?
Let's see. Probably because.
Do you think maybe Schusty called in and said, like, hey, how much is Hamilton getting ice time as opposed to doing his radio show? You think it's jamming up the curling?
Or maybe Jesse called Schuster and was confirming that we actually had curling tournaments.
There you go.
Instead, I just sat home for a week and listened into the show and never called in, never did it. I was just playing hooky at my house.
Or golfing. Maybe you're winning the championship, the BMW X7 high handicap curlers only division of the BMW charity.
I just stole a wheel off a BMW at the supermarket.
No, I'm saying that maybe he's thinking that if Matt wins this, maybe when Matt says he's out, he's actually golfing. Like he's playing hooky to golf to get his golf game up. Trying to pick up a second career, be ready for the Champions Tour in a few years. Just a few, Matt.
Just a few. Apparently, because I'm so close to it, right, Jim?
Yes.
I'm so old.
Right, you and Jerry Jones, 1 foot in the crypt. Go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner. $63 million in jackpots so far this year. Biggest jackpot biggest jackpot this year is $248,000. $2 million won last week alone. Largest jackpot last week was $43,000. Go be a winner and go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X-Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X-Golf Madison is for everyone. I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X-Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
9 minutes of fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your SportsCenter update brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. Celebrate Father's Day at the NTT IndyCar Series June 15th through the 18th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com. The Green Bay Packers start the first day of their 3-day mandatory minicamp today in Green Bay. And other news about the New York Packers as the Jets have signed former Packers safety Adrian Amos to a one-year deal up to $4 million. The Jets have hired multiple former Packers this offseason, but here's what head coach Matt LaFleur had to say when talking about how he feels his team is prepared heading into minicamp this year.
In comparison to years past, I think we're in better shape physically. Really setting our habits, our practice standards has been exceptional. I think the work ethic's been great, the energy, the attitude, all the things that our guys are in total control of.
Stay up to date on everything green and gold over at ESPNWisconsin.com. The Milwaukee Brewers started a 2-game road series against the Minnesota Twins today. Corbin Burns set to pitch for the Brewers. First pitch from Minneapolis set for 6:40 p.m.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Look at this guy. Wins the BMW X7 high handicap select division. Now he's getting ready to take on Steve Stricker on his home course.
I have an established handicap at University Ridge. If he thinks he's going to go 3 under, I'd need 17 strokes.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Matt Hamilton got into the Lineys early yesterday.
I don't know.
Challenging Steve Stricker.
Are we playing the same tees too? Like, are we tipping it out? Because even for the AmFam, they don't tip out every. And by that I mean make the hole as long as possible for every single hole. Like that par 3 over the water 17. That they weren't playing it from as far back as they could. I think it was only playing at 170, and that hole can be like 215 yards if they want it to be.
If I can make a suggestion, I would say maybe Steve Stricker is playing from the white to the far back tees, and then you, Matt Hamilton, can play from the senior tees. Since you're so old and fragile, that you might need the head start advantage over Steve.
God.
7-0-37.
Look,
76.
Steals my joke and now comes in and starts throwing me under the bus?
We are asking you, Jesse Nelson is sniffing around, wondering how many shows Matt Hamilton hosted over the last year. Wrong answer is only, why is Jesse Nelson doing this? Kevin and Madison chimes in, he's working for the IRS.
Yikes.
So I also want to ask this question, 844-770-3776. What percentage of the shows over the last year do you think Matt Hamilton made? That is going to be, there won't be an Iron Jock poll question.
Okay,
we'll
so
throw it up at Jim and Matt.
I'll throw this out there so everyone knows. This is from last June through this May. So, like, the Olympics didn't count and everything. And, this is after going on. So I did have a world championship. I had some other curling tournaments. I had the BMW. Nope. BMW is not going to limp in there. I think, what are we going to give them for options? Are we just going to say what percentage and no options?
Well,
like
on the poll, we'll throw more, or
0 to 33, 34 to 66, and 67 to 100.
I think it's 0 to 50.
Well, you don't need to do 50, the 67 to 100.
Oh,
clearly,
okay,
50.
Well, who knows? They might get some votes.
I say, let's go.
Yeah, do you show up everyone is here?
0 to 50, 50 to 65.
No, let's make it very simple. Has Matt Hamilton done over 50% of the shows over the last year?
50?
Okay.
Oh, come on.
So the over-under is 50.
No,
there we go.
Set it at 60.
60.
Because I know I've done more than
60% of the shows. Has Matt Hamilton done more than 60% of the shows over the last year? 844-770-3776. That is our secondary Iron Jock poll question.
Man, I'm confident. I feel like the line could go up to 65 and to be close. I still think I have a chance.
I will. We'll have to check back in on that. 844-770-3776. We also are asking the question in honor of Jokic, who I just find hilarious right now. Very muted and very much gave off the vibe of guy just wants to go home after winning the NBA title. In fact, he said that. If Aaron Rodgers wins Super Bowl this season with the Jets, do you think he'll be more like Jokic, muted and understated, or like Giannis, jovial and exuberant? And 68% of you said like Giannis. Daniel Sloth chimes in the studio, there's no way that Matt Hamilton cleared 60% of the shows.
Not necessarily in studio. This was and I had to do the entire show. I could do remote shows that count. But, so my 15-minute calling in, checking in from Alcatraz, wouldn't have counted.
Right. The Yard Possum from Lake Mills chimes in. You know the right answer is going to be 69%.
There you go, Yard Possum. That's the way we plan it out. Because people got to remember, a lot of these curling tournaments, I'll leave Thursday, Friday, and then the rest of my tournament's over the weekend. So it's I might be gone for 5 days, but I've only missed a couple
So
work days.
Daniel Sloth chimes in, and you are correct. Him calling in for a segment or two is not doing the show. But if he does a whole show or 80% of the show, because I feel like you bailed on a few at the end. Not often, but I feel like you had to do something. So you came in and gave us maybe 80% of the 2 hours.
Which I would definitely count
Which is
for a full
honestly
show.
more than you give us.
That's full show.
More than you give us sometimes otherwise. So, I mean.
But I'm here the whole time.
Yeah, we don't even always get 80% when you're here. So we'll just take it wherever we can get it there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, Matt, is, do we have this audio yet, Ryan, from the Chicago Bears?
I have not had time to look at that yet. I was told there might be a possible FCC violation.
Oh, there's absolutely.
Okay, so I will have to review that in the break.
FCC violation here. That makes it a little extra spicy. And so we've talked about this before, Matt Hamilton. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. And I think we all agree that the NFL and our seasons would be better if there's some real spiciness to the Bears-Packers rivalry. Now, I maintain this year both these two teams are likely battling for, at best, second place, but probably battling for third and fourth in the division. Neither are going to make the playoffs. They're both trying to reset their rosters. Chicago gutted their roster last year, and now they're trying to build it back up. Green Bay is trying to do a different way of rebuilding. Both teams are rebuilding. Chicago just gutted it, and now they're building it back up. And Green Bay is trying to rebuild on the fly. But I think both these teams are going to be battling for – they could feel like they're in it for a while. I don't think they're actually going to make the playoffs, but hey, we're an 8-win team. If we win our last 3, we'll make it. Or probably maybe we lose all 3. It's just one of those things where you could sell yourself on it. So Justin Jones, who played for the Bears one whole season, talked about his thoughts on Packer fans. Their fans are pretty crappy. He didn't use that word. Half of them don't even know football. We'll get the full cut because that's a little bit spliced together. But that does add a little bit of spice. He also said he wishes Aaron Rodgers was still with the Packers because he thought they could have gotten him last year, which their Bears were close in that one. Kind of ran out of gas in that game. Again, the Bears were 1-8 or 1-7 in one-score games last year. So now that's silly talk, but that's what you'd want. As a Bears fan, you don't want the players to say, "I'm glad Aaron Rodgers is gone." As a competitor, you don't want them to say that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I think there's no other answer to give, so I'm not giving a lot of credit for that. But I just look at it as maybe there's a little spice back in this rivalry.
Yeah, I guess when you're a team that you're literally the most historic and storied rivalry in the NFL. And over the last...
Arguably in sport. It's one of the longest running in sports.
Right. And over the last 25 years... it hasn't really been much of a rivalry. You've had your moments. You've gotten...
Well, when Lovie Smith was here, they maybe split the series.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you were to go back 25 years, the Packers have to have, triple the wins that the Bears have against each other, right? So it's just it's kind of interesting because this could be the start of an actual, honest battle rivalry. Back to that 50-50. You win at home, we win at home. We steal one at Soldier Field or wherever, Arlington Heights or wherever they end up playing.
God knows where they're playing. Because
sounds like they're going to be playing at the local high school stadium because no one wants to accommodate them.
Well, so here's what happened was, just a side note, basically view it like this, Matt Hamilton. If you bought a house, like a dilapidated house, and you tore it down, but while it's being torn down and it's dilapidated, the city comes and tells you, being like, oh, by the way, we're going to double your taxes. In no world,
so
that's
that
what happened.
Really nice. So that old house that wasn't worth anything, and wasn't being taxed anything because it wasn't worth anything.
Yeah.
Now you're going to tear it down and build something very nice on it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be worth more. And now we're going to tax you more on it. That
Before
is
you
how
actually build
taxes work, though.
No, before you build it. That's not how taxes work. That's why
you build it.
That's why the Bears are upset.
I was going to say, that's how taxes work.
No, but it don't work like that. You actually have to build it. It has to be assessed. It has to be built and assessed. And that's where right now they are, if you were at all curious. That's basically the easy analogy for it. You tear down an old house, a dilapidated house, and before you even get a chance to build it and do what you're going to do on it, the
you
city's
guys
like,
are just going to be at Soldier forever.
well, I mean, they're there for a while anyways. There's no rush on this. I think the lease is like another 5-6 years minimum. So
Well, I mean, I didn't expect them to build a stadium in one offseason.
Right, but I mean, like, they have off seasons to kill if they need to. So there's plenty of time on that part of it. But for the rivalry purposes, I do think that in a perfect world, these two teams could be crescendoing to be battling at the top of the division. In a perfect world, the NFC North, and I guess I'll ask you if you want this, 844-770-3776, do you want the other teams in the North to be good? Because the Lions look like a team that are on an upward trajectory. Now, they might have a plateau. I think if Jared Goff's their quarterback, they have a hard ceiling. We don't know the ceiling for the Packers and the Bears with their quarterbacks right now. But both of those two teams, and we know the Vikings ceiling with Kirk Cousins. So we know two teams have a hard ceiling, but that ceiling is definitely above winning the North. Any of those teams, the Lions and the Vikings, can win the North.
Certainly.
And the Lions look primed to do it for a while, compete in the North. Green Bay is trying one way to rebuild, which is rebuild on the fly, keep their key players, and hopefully Jordan Love hits the ground running and they can be right back at it next year. They have a good amount of cap space, and they have 2 first-round draft picks and 1 from the Jets in their own. Chicago tore it down to the studs there. They are also trying to rebuild. But all three of these teams are very similar, could be smashing into each other, and we could have a 3-team rivalry and have the NFC North look like the AFC East in a few years because, again, perfect scenario for all three. Chicago gets at least above average quarterback play out of Justin Fields. He doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. He could just be above average, and that'd be the best thing they ever had in Chicago. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So, but they also have, I think, the most amount of cap space going into next year, too, plus 2 first-round picks, which theirs is Carolina's, which is probably better than the Jets. So all these teams are kind of coming to a head. So it could be fun in a perfect world if we're going to assume the Packers get it right. And then I think if you're going to make that assumption, you just got to assume the Bears and the Lions because equal faith in all three. The Lions are the team currently that have earned the most amount of faith. We could be really heading towards a battle royale year after year. That after this year, there could be 2 or 3 teams from the NFC North going to the playoffs. This year, I think there's one, though.
Right. I think there's only one as well. I mean, that would be great. I think it would be good for the NFC North because I think once these teams start to get better, they're going to make themselves even better. Steel sharpens steel. When you have to play 6 of those games against other teams that might be some of the better teams in the NFC, you're going to get better. You're going to learn how to play tough football and win tight games against good teams. So it's probably going to be a good thing in the long run. It's going to hurt watching the Packers probably have to take some lumps from time to time. They're probably going to win some tight ones and lose some tight ones against teams that you hate losing to. But healthy rivalries are good for the game. It's good for the fans. It makes for a good environment, and I think that makes for good football. And the players will enjoy playing in that kind of environment.
We will talk more about this on the other side of Canopy Wealth Management. They take time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your family. No family fits a generic mold, and neither should your financial plan. At Canopy, their clients' financial goals are something they're constantly striving to help reach maximum potential, which is why they work solely in your best interest. You define your goals, and they work towards making them happen with their comprehensive financial planning. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
My eye doctor gives me a lot of great advice, but the best piece of advice she ever gave me was where to go for LASIK. TLC Laser Eye Centers. Did you know that TLC has performed over 2.3 million LASIK procedures nationally, including treatment for over 10,000 doctors? Doctors recommend TLC because that's who they trust with their eyes. So book your free consultation now at TLC Laser Eye Centers, the doctor's choice for LASIK.
Right now, TLC is offering $1,000 off their Wavelight laser when treated in June. That's $500 off per eye. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit SaveOnTLC.com. That's SaveOnTLC.com, the doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in June of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard Wavelight price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at SaveOnTLC.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Welcome back.
There is a bunch of things that I like to do. I mean, probably that's a normal thing, you know. Nobody likes his job, or maybe they do. They're lying.
Nate Madison gave some really nice words to us, Matt, to me and to you separately. But at the end, then he threw out one other part, and I think this is the part he doesn't want us to read on the air, which I won't, but he just put a emoji of pointing the finger up, don't read that. So I don't know if he means all of it that he wrote or just the last part. So, Matt, I'll just let you read it off the air, the nice things he said about you, because I don't want to maybe I don't want to mess it up. I think I know the part he doesn't want us to read, but to be clear, because it was a little bit foggy.
Just don't read it.
I won't read it at all.
You can just screw it up. I'll go over there and read it.
You can check it out later. I'll show it to you during the break.
Right now.
No, it's
just
we got to throw the stones. If we didn't, we'll get it later. Yes, we got a radio show to do.
Yeah, but it's Ryan's throwing stones. We're throwing him a bone here by eating up some time.
Hey, old man. Watch your mouth there, all right?
He's been throwing shade today. I'm just trying to get him back a little bit. Easy, young gun.
All right. Well,
start your segment.
It is time to throw some stones.
No, can I throw out a little
sorry.
Conspiracy?
Yes.
Browns returning on the 15th. Maybe that's what's going on with Jesse Nelson sniffing around Matt Hamilton.
Oh, Rutledge and Molly?
Yeah, I don't know. Jim and Molly?
Jim and Molly. Doesn't have the nice ring of Rutledge and Hamilton.
It does not.
Sounds better.
I think, honestly, you better go out and vote for us, channel3000.com, to keep Matt's job.
And my ego. My ego would take an absolute punishment if I got taken out because I was competing. No, you know what?
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
I thought I was very clear I was still competing for the Olympics. Radio people, hall monitor. I made myself extremely clear to you.
All righty, let's get to stones.
The guys think they have the answers to everything.
I'm the best there is.
People like me.
So it's time to put them to the test.
That's some booty, Jim.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
So yes, now it is time to officially throw some stones here on Rutledge and Hamilton. Each and every day I waste a lot of time scrolling Twitter, and it leaves me with a lot more questions than answers, and instead of answering those questions myself, I throw them out here to Jim and Matt looking for answers. I'll scroll those answers throughout, and at the end, we'll crown a winner of Throwing Stones. So,
I want to
Jim,
chime in here that
right.
Jokic, in an interview with Malika Andrews, asked him about all the doubters against him, and he said they didn't believe in the fat boy. It seems like it worked out. Don't bet against the fat boy. This guy is just the best. Sorry,
he has an all-time nickname, the Big Quesarito. Do you guys know about that one?
No, I didn't know that one.
You guys didn't know about this, the Big Quesarito. So when he got drafted back in, 2017?
Yeah.
Right after, as he was being actually drafted, was during a commercial break in the draft.
Yep.
And the commercial that was on the break was a Taco Bell ad for the Quesarito. So then when they came back, Sir Charles Barkley actually just called him the Big Quesarito, and that stuck with him as his nickname throughout his career, except I guess not everyone knew it, but that's an all-time nickname. So
that's a good one.
All right. That wasn't one of the stones, but I wanted to throw that out there. But now, the first stone we will get to was Justin Jones. We teased this in the last segment that Jim threw to us, where he was asked about the departure of Aaron Rodgers from the NFC North. Here's what Justin Jones had to say. Chicago Bears defensive lineman, correct?
Yep.
How different is it going to be now that Aaron Rodgers is somewhere else?
I wish he played one more year with Green Bay, honestly. We went up there and we played a pretty good game, but they got away from us at the end, obviously, and they won, but their fans are really so. I wanted to go back up there and I wanted to play him and I wanted to beat them and I wanted him to be there so you can see it. But the fact that he's gone now, it's cool. I guess it's better for him not to be. I guess it's better here.
So I'll go ahead and start with Matt here on this one. Is this just the competitive fire here from Justin Jones, or is he clearly just salty at losing to the Packers twice last year?
Well, I'm going to say it's a little bit of both. I would be a little upset if there wasn't a little bit of salt in those comments, because you want a competitor. You want somebody who's going to be hungry from a loss like that. So I'm going to, and also I think he can't go out there and say, I'm glad Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Right. That would be a problem.
Yeah, he can't be like, well, we couldn't beat Aaron Rodgers, so the fact he's gone, I'm super happy. So, he gave a great answer. I don't like the calling Packer fans doo-doo. But, I mean, when you're swinging up and you're, you're in your brother's shadow, I don't blame him for trying to throw some strong hate out there.
To throw some stones?
Yeah, if you will.
I'll say this part of it. He also probably had some sort of, and this is not indicative of Packer fans. I think every fan base, I said this before, I would say 65 to 70% of the fan base at a game really knowledgeable. 80% of them super nice. 20% probably jerks. And he probably had some jerks in his face. And that's every fan.
Look at every fan base. Rodgers scores that touchdown. They had the fans that were giving him the bird, and then he decided that he was going to say, I own you.
So I would imagine.
So it's every fan base is going to have those people somewhere in the stadium.
Right, so this is not unique to the Packers. I would imagine that someone was saying something to him that got under his skin as well. because it did feel a little personal because he does go on.
I remember a Packer game that I went to. We happened to be actually on the Bears sideline, and I yelled at Robbie Gould the whole game.
Yeah.
All I said was Robbie Gould. I might not have said another word inside the stadium other than I'll have another Coors Light and Robbie Gould, you'll miss. And I was, even during his practice kicks into the net, I was like, you're going to miss the net.
Do you think he thought of you when he ended the Packers seasons twice in the playoffs?
No, I don't think he even heard me.
No.
But he did miss that day, and I definitely took credit for that missed field goal.
Yeah. He got you back, though.
Well, I wasn't there. If I was there, I'd have been living rent-free between those ears.
Gotcha. So I think it's great. That's the other part of it. But I think it was probably
build a rivalry.
Someone got under his skin a little bit, too, which is fine. I know it's not knocking against Packer fans. Someone got under his skin, and losing got under his skin. So,
sure.
Yeah. I want spice to it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be the lovable losers. It
hasn't been spicy lately, so let's get a little spice into this rivalry again.
Well, it hasn't been, but something that has been spicy recently. Have you guys been paying attention to this baby Gronk phenomenon on Twitter?
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I feel like I've gotten dumber since I started seeing it.
Well, that's a great intro.
It's just all gross.
So, baby Gronk and his dad, who is basically, semi like a LeVar Ball character with this baby Gronk, who is this 10-year-old football player who's kind of doing a lot of social media content, a lot of collabs with other social media influencers, has actually been going to colleges and taking like those recruiting photo shoots with different schools. Really weird because the kid's only 10 years old, but he's already super famous. Fourth grader.
That's the age of my daughter.
Yes, insanely, way too young.
Your daughter already committed to LSU. How do you feel?
Yes, yeah.
And he was probably also too young to be appearing on the, quote, Bring the Juice pod, where he and his dad were there together, and his dad was starting to feed him some lines to say to the host.
The most cringe thing I have seen in a long time.
Here's the audio.
Are you him is the real question.
Yes.
Ask that again, bro. Say, man, what kind of question is that? You see my Instagram? Say that. Ready? All right,
Hey, baby Gronk, are you him?
What kind of question is that? Look at my Instagram.
Would you take her to prom someday?
Hey, no, say it again, bro. You gotta say, man. I already DM'd her and asked her, and she said yes. All right, come on, man. Sit on the mic.
Hey, baby Gronk, would you take Livy Dunn to prom, you think?
I already DM'd her and she said yes.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. So, what do you guys
damn's
think?
right. Ugh.
Is this just completely out of bounds by baby Gronk's dad, or is he maybe trying to help build his son's influence while he's young, trying to build up his possible NIL value one day? Is this just gone way over the line when it comes to baby Gronk? Matt or Jim, I'll start with you.
This is disgusting. I mean, I don't know where other family members are, but someone's got to rein in his dad. Dan Orlovsky put out underneath the tweet, basically, his dad is a big-time loser. I mean, his dad is got to be one of the biggest losers to walk the face of the earth. I mean, get out of here. Not only is he exploiting his son to try to get some shine for himself, what are these responses? What are these clues you're giving to him? Why are you teaching him to treat women with no respect, obviously, in the second response? The first response, to have unguided arrogance. How did we start the show? We love Giannis and Jokic and the people who are real. Everything about that made my skin crawl, and I hope somebody in their lives reaches out to them and says, this ain't it. This is disgusting.
The only redeeming quality that I see in this whole thing is the fact that this baby Gronk is gaining some followers and some notoriety. We all know how hard it is to make the NFL, and in all likelihood, this kid ain't going to do it. If his dad is actually helping him with this notoriety and maybe putting it away towards a college fund if he's making money.
That's what he's claimed, yes.
Or anything in that sense, the way he's doing it is terrible. The idea behind it, at least it's coming from a noble place, but when your dad's feeding a fourth grader lines like that, I don't really have high hopes that he is putting every penny that you've earned away for you. He seems like the kind of guy who might skim a little bit.
Also, it's a hard living to make if you're just trying to be a social media influencer with no discernible skill. And if you talk about professionals and colleges look at your social media, they have the right to deny you admission. So if this guy this kid through his dad is acting like a complete clown everywhere, good luck getting a college that's going to accept you. And then
there's no colleges. They're going to look at his 4th grade kid sitting with his dad.
But your point is they're going to continue this all the way up to college.
Well,
and if this
he'll
kid
continue until this kid can start to think on his own.
Right, but
he's a 4th grader.
But your parents, when is that? 18?
No.
What is this doing for his development too?
Right. You're gonna start being rebellious when you hit 12.
Right, but
when you're preteen, you're not gonna listen to everything Dad says. I didn't.
This is.
It might be different.
This
it might
seems
be different.
very
This is cringy,
pathological by his dad
And
to
it's
create
not-
a mini him.
Well, a mini. Who knows if it's a
Here's
mini
my
him?
hope.
It's a
Here's my
mini
hope.
persona.
Making money on social media ain't a real career. It's not something that's really going to get it done for you. And good luck trying to find a
If
job.
it can get him enough to get through college, then well done, Dad. You did something a little bit different, but you really made an ass of yourself.
More likely than not, this is going to end poorly.
Most likely.
And that's my concern.
I'm hoping. I'm going to hold out optimism for this one that this is going to benefit Baby Gronk.
I hope this kid has a different family member he can go stay with for a while.
Who knows?
And keep his dad out of his life.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and it needs to end soon. And we're gonna have to end throwing stones a little soon because the music is actually running out on this.
And I don't know how to play it again.
Well, we can restart the whole thing, but either way, I think I already know who won this one, and it was Matt Hamilton.
Oh, look at that. This is why you have to have a nice bitter rivalry like your boy from the Bears is trying to set up.
Yeah.
Because it's going steel sharpens steel. Ryan recognized that I was great today, and even though we're rivals right now, he recognizes greatness and gives me the win. I can't say I'm surprised.
I had to give it to the right side of the Packers-Bears rivalry. I mean, come on.
There you go.
There you go.
Not for long. Bears don't have to win a lot of games to take that rivalry back.
Oh, I mean, look, they
don't.
have about the same odds to win the division right now.
But I'm saying,
how many seasons is it going to take for the Bears to get back to even if they win both games?
2. It's not that far of a difference. Aaron, I think, closed out last year. I think they passed him.
Oh, you're talking the all-time
record.
record.
all-time.
Oh, yeah, it's still very, very close right now.
Well, I know it's
We'll
very
get that on
close.
the other side. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from my good friends over at Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits. That's why I love them. They use local ingredients whenever they can, and they're based right here in Wisconsin, up in Carlsville in Door County. If you're heading up to Door County with the sweetheart, it's a no-brainer. You got to stop in by Door County Distillery, take the winery tour, take the distillery tour, and tell them Alex Stroh from ESPN Madison sent you. Or you can get Door County Distillery's gins, whiskeys, vodkas, and all the in-betweens right here in the Madison area. Just go to the website, doorcountydistillery.com, to find the unique cocktail recipes and the retailer nearest you. That's doorcountydistillery.com, doorcountydistillery.com, for my great friends at Door County Distillery.
Just look at them. State-of-the-art Honda hybrids, making ecological art out of any conditions they encounter. Rugged, dependable, stylish performance with fuel efficiency and low emissions that'll make a tree hugger blush. What's this phenomenon you're witnessing? It's the future, today. Electrified driving built for Wisconsin. Get your Honda hybrid now at your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer. Honda gets Wisconsin.
When you want to show just how you feel, come to Chalmers Jewelers. Our custom jewelers have been working day and night to come up with the most amazing custom jewelry. Truthfully, in the 30 years I've been in business, we have the largest inventory of custom jewelry that we have ever had. Amazing prices, amazing selection, and one-of-a-kind pieces. Come see our incredible variety at either location or chalmersjewelers.com.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. Looking for a team to play for in the spring and summer of 2024? Rays tryouts begin in July and August, and sign-ups are open now. Since 2010, the Rays have developed over 370 college players, including over 140 players committed to Division I baseball and 17 MLB draft picks. Rays Baseball. Raise your game.
The time for t-shirt weather is here, and so is the time to sign up for a new membership at Prairie Athletic Club. Enjoy everything the Pack has to offer indoor and outdoors this summer, including access to Dolphins Cove Water Park and the new Prairie Pines Golf Club in Sun Prairie. Summer memberships are now available, but if you're not ready to join yet, not a problem, as guests are welcome daily. Call, stop by, or visit prairieathletic.com. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, and community.
Matt Hamilton here for Iron Jock. Believe it or not, being an Olympic curler takes a lot of practice time on the ice. And despite always being cool, I still work up a sweat. That's why I love Iron Jock and their no-stink technology. Silver Iron technology is the how behind why it works, and that is about as technical as I can get with it. What I do know is that if I'm on the ice or just wanting to look good, I know Iron Jock has t-shirts, polos, and hoodies for me. Support this Wisconsin-based company today and get gear at ironjoc.com. That's ironjoc.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
Christian Brown from the Denver Nuggets won 3 straight high school titles, an NCAA championship at Kansas, and now he's an NBA champion in his rookie season. That guy, that's a hell of a run. That guy's a winner, Matt Hamilton. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light, my friends.
We're live from the Everlight Solar studio on July 17th. What's that?
17th.
17th, we'll be out at the ESPN Madison Open. You and I were working through different golf things, and then earlier today.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, which one are we talking about? July 17th, ESPN Madison Open. Go sign up at ESPNMadisonOpen.com. Hamilton will be there. I'll be there. Tauscher, I think Brad Nortman, Chris Orr, Alec Ingold. There's a lot of folks who are going to be there. So sign up, get a foursome, raise money for Catch, which is the community around the Children's Hospital, and we'll be there for good cause. Drink some Coors Light, have a good time, play a great golf course. Go to ESPNMadisonOpen.com to sign up today. Matt, you threw down the gauntlet to Steve Stricker yesterday, and now I think I hear you reaching out to Jerry Kelly to see how many strokes you need to take him on.
Well, the thing is, I actually have Jerry's number, so I can actually text Jerry and find out. So, yeah, I just sent him a text. I was talking in the bullpen with one of our – he's not an intern anymore. What would Russo be?
He's part-time.
Teammates. Just call him a teammate.
One of our teammates, Russo, I was asking him how many strokes I'd need to take Stricker, and I said 17 yesterday.
Yeah.
Grant, now I'm not going to double back on it because I think I could still keep it within 4 or 5 at 17. But Stricker shot 3 under in really bad conditions the last day of the AmFam. And that was the number that I put him at. On the 2 nice days he played, he was 6 and 8 under.
Here's your best shot for either one of these guys is that they're not going to be locked in. You know, they're having this for fun. It's going to be a practice round for them to play against you. So
these guys are professionals. They know how to lock in.
Right, but I'm saying they're not going to need to. They're just going to have fun. They're not going to lock in and try to embarrass you. They're going to they'll just hold you.
What if I requested it? What if I was I want you to absolutely make me look foolish?
Because they have jobs. So I feel like if, in their case, I would imagine both those guys look at it like this: hey, I got to get out and play 18 anyways. I'll go play against Matt, and I'm just going to have a practice round. And so my practice round against Matt, I'll still be able to beat him handily. If I need to lock in for a second, I will. But otherwise, I'll just go out and beat Matt easily in a practice round.
I might just have to put something worth it on it.
Well, what I'd love to do, honestly,
Jerry, what's going to give me your best effort? How much money do I have to put on the round?
No, let's make it more universal. If we could figure it out, I guarantee we could have a great partner of ESPN Madison donate to the charity of choice. That's how I'd love to do it. If they were playing for a charity, you might get them to ante up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe if we had one of our partners wanted to do, for every stroke I get beat by.
There you go.
It's $100 towards.
Or you can just play towards where you get a high handicap in it, and whoever gets it gets the donation to the charity of choice. Maybe American Family could throw money to a charity of choice to their Strickers Foundation.
I think we should try and get something like this going. I want to do the match. against one of our local guys. Maybe, yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
Kyle LaPond says, and I don't know this sort of thing here, but Ryan, you'll have to chime in on this. Matt should have to put money into Bruss' douche jar for saying he texted Jerry Kelly.
I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm sure Bruss is very familiar with anything related to douche.
So 844-770-3776. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it did feel like it could have used a cool.
Was that a little, too flexy? I mean, I was just telling you what I was doing. I just was hitting up another Madisonian, just like anyone else would do, and ask him if you want to play golf sometime. I don't see the problem with this.
Cool.
I don't see the problem with this.
Cool.
I mean, you are dropping Jerry Kelly like it's big flex. But Jerry Kelly's a big-time golfer. He's won, the AmFam twice? Yep, and he's obviously won a ton of other things, too, and great representation for Madison. But I would love either one of those guys. And if we could get them involved with a charity, and so you guys would have an outing for a charity, I think that'd be great. Maybe we can get them to come out to the ESPN Madison Open. You guys could compete there, play the North 12.
Oh, man. That's where, the distance off the tee is what helps me. Playing the North 12 would not be my cup of tea.
Do you think you'd feel any sort of... You wouldn't feel pressure at all?
Oh, I'd feel pressure.
I just don't think you'd get the best Matt Hamilton because you'd feel...
Well, there's two sides of it. Sometimes I feel like a lot of times, especially when I'm playing with good golfers, I step my game up because, one, I'm not trying to slow them down. I don't want to hit 2 shots for every one of theirs.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to throw anyone's rhythm off. So sometimes I do tend to step up. So I don't know what kind of golfer I get. The thing is,
this guy is peak confidence right now.
I'm not a golfer. I was nervous at the BMW. That first, every time you tee off for the first time, they just announce your name, and then you've got a little gallery of people left and right. It is nerve wracking. So I don't know if playing a pro, how it would affect me. I like to think that I would rise to the challenge though. And I'm going to believe that until they prove me otherwise.
844-770-3776. Do you think Matt Hamilton could beat Steve Stricker or Jerry Kelly with
17
shots? 17 strokes.
Booty, Jim. Oh, that's...
because here's the out-of-pocket. This is where you got insane is you're somehow trying to claim U Ridge is your home course.
Well... Okay, a lot of people can have the same home course. That is the course I play the most often.
Okay, but even just this last tournament, Stricker played it 3 days in a row.
I'm willing to bet that
that's
year
a month's worth of golf.
And
there
this year, I will play more golf at University Ridge than Steve Stricker.
How many do you play on your? How many holes do you play?
So you play 9, and now that the AmFam's over, which is my favorite time of year, now that it's over, we can just go play the twilight. So if I'm done at 5:30. 6 o'clock, and there's still another hour and a half, I can get another 5-6 holes in.
Okay, but on average,
after the AmFam, I'm playing 12
to 14
holes.
Before the AmFam, though, what's 18 times 3?
18 times 54.
54. So he plays 54 holes, and then Matt...
I had 6 rounds of golf prior to the AmFam.
But 1 month. Okay. So basically, he nearly gets in 1 weekend at the tournament what you do in a whole month there.
In a month and a half, yeah.
Right. So... I just want to point that part out, but you don't think he just gets on over there? You don't think he can play whenever? You don't think he gets over?
Not when you live on TPC Madison. Maybe a little bit more recently since it's been under construction.
But also there's tournaments there. So the tournament is there.
Oh, there's no tournaments there yet.
I mean, at U Ridge. My point is that he probably got out there and had a few practice rounds at U Ridge too, right?
I am confident I've played University Ridge more this season than Steve Stricker.
Matt Hamilton can claim U Ridge as his home course more than Steve Stricker can.
Well, no, we can both call it a home course. I'm saying
who has the home course advantage?
Me. I think I play there more year in and year out than Steve Stricker does. I am convinced I do.
I was going to say, considering how often you're not on the show, one would think you are probably making your home at U Ridge pretty often, right?
Exactly. Because here's the thing is I do play league there once a week. It's not like I don't go out on the weekends and go play U Ridge. It's still one of the best courses in Madison, if not the best.
But the cojones on you to be no, that's not Stricker's place. This is mine.
I played there more than him, yeah.
But you're just
my course now.
I love you, Matt. And I know you won the BMW handicap.
High handicap celebrity division.
Curling only division of the BMW. But
oh my God.
I would say you're just a dude that golfs. That is his profession. There'd be like a random curler being like, you know what? I actually curl more at the Madison Curling Club, Matt Hamilton. So that's my.
And I would doubt that because I curl there a lot.
And you're a gosh darn Olympian. You
I'm
earned the right. It's
Stricker
yours.
Does not go there.
But he's
outside of this AmFam thing. He is not going there anymore. He is done going.
But Matt,
you Ridge this season.
But my point is, he's the host of a professional tournament. He is considered the host of the tournament at U Ridge. That alone should give
makes it his course.
Also, he won a professional event at said course.
Oh,
his course.
Semantics. I don't see what this has anything to do with home course, Jim. You're losing me.
So if Johnny Smith curls at Madison Curling Club more than you, then it's theirs?
And it's true, and I believe it, then yes.
No way, man.
Yes.
The people at the Madison Curling Club
I
would
can
say that.
still claim it as my home curling club.
Your
and
dad
so can my dad.
Because your dad curl. Well, but you said it's yours. The U Ridge is your yours
I said
more
that's
than Stricker.
No, I didn't.
That's
I was
what I'm
saying,
asking you.
Well, obviously, Jim, let's be real. Obviously, it's Stricker's more than me. I'm saying I play there more than him.
Right, but you were trying to claim it as Matt Hamilton's home course.
Of all the courses that I was going to recommend that I play Steve Stricker at in Madison, U Ridge is number one because that's the one I play the most and most comfortable at. Cool. So it can be his home course, but I'm living in his basement.
Oh, man. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Vote at channel3000.com. People really like this show. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. A reigning freshman phenom for the Wisconsin basketball team will represent his country later this week in California. Connor Esigian, who averaged over 11 points per game in his freshman campaign for the Badgers, will represent the Armenian national team during the Armenian Basketball Classic against France on June 16th at Cal State Northridge in California. Esigian will make his debut for Armenia against the 5th-ranked globally France team in back-to-back nights at the Armenian Basketball Classic in California.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So, you've got an oil change coming up. Consider STP Conventional to save on motor oil for your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Get the complete job done at the right price at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side
and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up.
According to the Adam Madison, Madison currently belongs to Becca Hamilton.
That's some booty, Adam. That's some booty.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. We're live from the Everlight Solar studio. A couple Iron Jock poll questions. If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this season with the Jets, do you think he'll be more like Jokic, muted and understated, or Giannis, jovial and exuberant? Right now, 71% of you say he'd be more like Giannis. And then on Rutledge and Hamilton, at Jim and Matt is the Twitter handle. We asked the question here, and we'll reveal the results right now. But has Matt Hamilton co-hosted over or under 60% of Rutledge and Hamilton shows during the past 12 months? You can chime in this last little bit here, 844-770-3776. Has Matt Hamilton co-hosted over or under 60% of Rutledge and Hamilton shows? Does not count call-ins, but it does count if he was in for the whole show just remotely. And Ryan, what is your vote on this?
I mean, Matt, I love you, man. I know I've been giving you a hard time today, but I would have to go with the under, just slightly. But I think the line set at 60% was the breaking point. That was a very sharp Vegas line. I'm going to say it's right around 55, 57. So, yeah, I would have to take the under.
This is some booty. Literally less than 2 hours ago, you told me it was 63, 62. So you're going back on what you said?
So right now, 55% of the audience says under. 844-770-3776. Matt Hamilton, over the last year, has he hosted more or less than 60% of the shows? We are also asking you, wrong answers only, why is Jesse Nelson asking how many shows Matt Hamilton has hosted over the last year?
We might be getting the hall monitor himself.
Is he just monitoring the halls for just due diligence there?
Well, he heard his name and ears started burning in classic Jesse fashion.
Maybe he's coming in right now. I mean, like I said, Molly Brown's back in 2 days. Maybe he's coming right now to tell you being replaced.
Molly's the new Matt.
Yes, I don't know. Jesse Nelson now hopping in.
If we're going to talk about people taking a lot of time off, let's talk about Molly Brown. How long has she been gone?
How long do you need to be off after you give birth?
Yeah.
Matt's got to go play golf in South Carolina.
I mean, whatever. We'll let it slide because she's not here to defend herself. But once she's back, I'm going to have some serious questions for her.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Now I'll say this, Matt. You've never missed 3 months at one time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least I spread it out a little bit.
Oh man! Now, Jesse, we did have a few, and you don't have to tell us why. We did have one that you work for the IRS. Was one reason why?
Nope, maybe I do not work for the IRS.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why you were maybe trying to figure out why Matt Hamilton has been missing time, or maybe it's just about replacing Matt here.
No, the other the reason was Jesse was just a sad boy when I'm gone.
Yes,
he
that was
just
right,
looking
too.
so forward to me being back in the studio.
While that is true, Matt, I'm going to need you to stick around for a few minutes after the show.
Because you like me and miss me and you want to talk and hang out?
I just want to hang out,
yeah, absolutely.
That's what I thought.
So,
That's
Jesse,
some booty, Jim.
While we have you here, though, Matt Hamilton has this insane theory that he's trying to claim U Ridge as his home course more than it is Steve Stringer's
Yeah,
home
exactly.
course.
Jesse,
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so Jesse, what would you call your home bowling alley?
Alpine Lanes in Muskego, where I bowled
Okay.
3-4 times a week in my youth throughout high school.
Let's say hypothetically, I bowled there 4 or 5 times a week in my youth.
Yeah.
And I wanted to claim it. Is it mine?
No, this is not Apple. It would say if Pete Weber bowled there once a month and won tournaments there, whose home bowling alley is it?
I'm surprised that Jim
Who
was
do you
able to
think
pull
you are?
Pete
I
Weber,
am.
but that was outstanding and the correct response.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Matt, you won a charity pro-am over the weekend, and it wasn't even the third biggest golf story in the United States. It wasn't even the third biggest golf story
bigger than the
locally.
Canadian Open. Come on.
It was less important than the guy that
was
got
so
hit.
much more American than the Canadian Open.
The security guard tackling the Canadian guy. More,
Yeah, he
more
tackled
people
like
here.
a CFL player.
I hate to break it to you.
No, he didn't wrap him up at all. He just rolled over him. That was terrible tackling. Classic CFL dog and pony show up there. That was the most Canadian tackle I've ever seen in my life.
I was out on.
And then the guy apologized to the guy who tackled him.
I'm out
Hey,
yesterday
sorry for
evening.
tackling me there, bud.
Talking to a couple guys at the bar, they go, "Hey, you see that Canadian golfer get tackled?" And not one person said, "Hey, did you see that curler won the charity pro-am?"
Wait, things
let's
are
be
just
sure.
a given,
It's
Jesse.
the BMW X7 Celebrity Prime High Handicap
division.
Curlers Only division, right?
Jim, I feel like you're adding one extra thing in there. I'm not going to point out which one exactly. But, yeah, I'm the champion. And
I'm like out
sometimes
of breath every time I say it.
Sometimes news is so big that it's just a given. You don't have to ask if anyone heard about it. You just know they knew about it. So that's kind of where I'm placing this BMW championship.
Matt, I'll give you this on the Stricker U Ridge front. If you were able to win a charity pro-am tournament at U Ridge before Stricker ever won the AmFam championship, you would have an argument. If you won an actual tournament at University Ridge, you could have an argument.
What about second
Stricker
place in my
just
golf
won.
league?
Stricker just won. He's having like the greatest year of golf like almost ever on the Champions Tour. And he wins on his home course. In
home course.
You can't take U Ridge from Stricker. That is his place now.
What, every course in Madison, Yahara Hills is Stricker's course because he's
If
from
he
here?
hosts a professional event at it and then wins said professional event, yes.
You want to go play that 9-holer in Monona? You want to go play
Here's-
Monona
here's the
golf
standard
course?
we will set, Matt Hamilton.
Your golf course, Steve? Yeah, let's go play Monona.
When you host a professional tour event at said golf course
So
and
is
then
Trappers turn my tournament because I am going to win the Coors Light Open and I am hosting.
We professionals?
Well, I am hosting a tournament.
Andy North designed that thing, so good luck.
So it's Andy North's course?
Yes.
He makes a little 12-hole par 3 and then collaborates on the
It's
actual
called
course.
12 North.
That's not the course we're playing, is it? We're going to play the big boy course with big boy golfers. We don't need to play this
He
mini
designed
putt.
that too.
Yes.
He collaborated on it. There was another golf
Well, you could
architect
talk.
a part of
You
it.
could talk to Patrick up there and see if
Semantics.
you can lean on it and get it done for
You
yourself.
guys
there.
are just sticklers for words. Like
Didn't
you
you
just take them all verbatim.
Didn't you have a professional golfer literally helping you win the pro-am? You had a golfer you were paired with who was a
training
professional.
wheels on.
I like to let him feel like he was a part of my win.
You let him. That's why you don't have the trophy right
Yeah,
now.
so
He's
here's the
holding on to
thing.
it.
If I ignored him the whole time, he wouldn't want to like talk or hang out later. So you got to throw him a bone every once in a while. Hey, can you read this putt for me?
So we are running out of time.
Okay,
we need to
this is-
reveal here.
This is all for the bit. I'm leaning in.
Sure, Matt. Because honestly, my vote was, Jesse, that you were checking into it because Matt, since he won this tournament, obviously plays golf and plays hooky from the show. But drum roll, please, has Matt Hamilton made over or under 60% of the shows in the last year?
Matt's
64.
been in attendance for 71% of Rutledge and Hamilton
This
shows.
guy is going insane for a C minus.
Ooh, yeah,
So
man.
Matt
borderline F.
Hamilton. It's been Rutledge and Hamilton.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde. Show your excitement for the Brew Cruise return with Brewers Checking from Associated Bank. You'll get a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard, 10% off at the team store, and VIP treatment with Express Check-In through the Associated Bank.